Neo had been alone on station Kepler 442 for 37 years. The mining outpost had been abandoned decades ago when the corporation declared the asteroid field unprofitable. They'd left him behind, not maliciously but through bureaucratic oversight. By the time anyone noticed, the cost of a rescue mission exceeded the value of one forgotten maintenance technician. Neo had stopped waiting for Joe after the first decade. He'd learned to survive in the silence. The station's hydroponic gardens kept him fed. The fusion reactor hummed reliably. He'd read every book in the digital library twice, watched every movie 3 times, and could recite entire episodes of pre-war sitcoms from memory. The loneliness had transformed from a screaming void into a dull companion that sat beside him at every meal. On the 37th anniversary of his abandonment, something knocked on the airlock. Neo stared at the monitor in disbelief. Nothing knocked in space. Debris collided, micrometeoroids punctured, but nothing knocked with the rhythmic patience of someone waiting to be let inside. He cycled through the external cameras and froze. She stood in the void without a suit, her skin a shifting pattern of bioluminescent scales that pulsed with colors he had no names for. She was roughly humanoid, 2 arms, 2 legs, a torso, a head. But the proportions were all wrong in ways that made his brain itch. Her eyes, impossibly large and dark as the space behind her, looked directly into the camera. She knocked again. Neo's hand trembled over the airlock controls. 37 years of isolation warred with every safety protocol he'd ever learned. Then he thought about the next 37 years alone and he pressed the button. The outer door opened. She stepped inside. The door sealed. Atmosphere flooded the chamber. The inner door opened, and she walked onto his station like she'd done it 1,000 times before. "Thank you," she said in perfect English, though her mouth didn't quite match the words. "I am Katniss of the Meridian Collective. I have traveled very far." Neo's voice cracked from disuse and shock. How are you alive out there?" "My species evolved in vacuum." She tilted her head, studying him with an intensity that made him feel like a specimen. "We are born in the stellar winds of neutron stars. Your atmosphere is quaint. What do you want?" Neo managed, still pressed against the far wall. Katniss reached into what Neo had assumed was a natural body pattern, but now realized was some kind of biological storage system. She withdrew a crystalline device that hummed with internal light. "I need your help," she said. "My ship was damaged in a solar flare. I require a specific compound to repair my biological systems and resume my journey. My species produces it naturally, but only through a process that requires—" She paused, searching for words. "Extraction assistance." "Extraction?" Neo blinked. "Yes." Katniss's scales shifted to a warm amber color. "You would call it milking. I require you to milk me." The absurdity of the statement broke through Neo's shock, and he laughed. Actually laughed for the first time in decades. "I'm sorry, you want me to what?" "Milk me," Katniss repeated seriously. "My kind produces a regenerative compound similar to mammalian lactation, though ours is enzymatic rather than nutritional. The process requires manipulation of specialized glands that I cannot reach myself. Without it, I will die here, and my mission will fail." Neo rubbed his face. "This is insane. I've been alone so long I'm hallucinating." "You are not hallucinating." Katniss stepped closer, and Neo caught a scent like ozone and cinnamon. "I am real. My need is real, and you are the first sentient being I have encountered in 3 light years who possesses the manual dexterity my biology requires." "Why me? Why this station?" "Random chance," Katniss admitted, "though perhaps not entirely. I detected your isolation from my ship. A being who has survived alone for decades understands resourcefulness, desperation, the willingness to try impossible things." She wasn't wrong. Neo had done impossible things just to see another sunrise through the viewport. He'd taught himself engineering, botany, and medicine from scratch. He'd once performed surgery on himself using a mirror and ice for anesthesia. "If I help you," Neo said slowly, "will you take me with you?" Katniss's scales rippled through a spectrum of colors. Surprise, calculation, something that might have been joy. "You would leave your world?" "I left it 37 years ago." Neo's voice hardened with old grief. "It left me first." "Then yes," Katniss said. "Help me repair my biology, and I will take you to places your species has never imagined. The Meridian Collective has 14,000 member worlds. You will never be alone again." Neo looked at his hands, hands that had fixed 1,000 broken things that had kept him alive through sheer stubborn will. He looked at Katniss, this impossible alien who had knocked on his door like a neighbor borrowing sugar. "All right," he said. "Show me what to do." Katniss's scales blazed with brilliant golds and blues. She guided his hands to pressure points along her torso, where specialized organs pulsed beneath her skin. Neo worked carefully, methodically, applying the same patience he'd used to coax vegetables from hydroponic systems. The compound that emerged was liquid light, filling vials with luminescence. "You have remarkable hands," Katniss said softly. "Gentle but precise." 37 years of practice, Neo replied. "Everything here is delicate. Everything breaks if you're not careful." "You will not break on my ship," Katniss promised. "Humans are more resilient than you know. That is why the collective has been searching for you." "Searching? Your species survived an ice age with stone tools. You split the atom before you understood its dangers. You sent machines to other worlds before you could follow them yourselves." Her scales shifted to deep purple. Reverence, Neo was learning. "Humanity terrifies and amazes us in equal measure. We need that resilience." Neo filled the last vial. "Done." Katniss sealed them away and turned to him, her massive eyes reflecting the station lights. "Pack what you wish to keep. We leave in 1 hour." Neo looked around the station that had been his prison and sanctuary. 37 years. He'd expected to die here. "I don't need anything," he realized. "Everything I need I am." Katniss's scales flashed bright white, approval. Spoken like someone who has already traveled the longest journey. The one from isolation to understanding. She extended her hand and Neo took it. Her skin felt like warm glass, impossibly smooth and thrumming with energy. "Welcome to the universe," Katniss said. "It's been waiting for you." As they walked toward the airlock together, Neo smiled. He'd been alone for decades, and an alien had knocked on his door asking him to milk her. Somehow, impossibly, it was exactly what he'd needed. The stars were waiting, and this time he wouldn't face them alone.